Hey everybody, it's Jay here with a fresh cut, as you can probably see. I have obviously just been to the hairdressers, to the barbers specifically, and so I thought I'd make a video about hair, because I see quite regularly people asking questions about hair, like when it comes to being transmasculine, and like not really knowing what to do, and then being unsure about going to the barbers and stuff. So I'm just gonna put some stuff out there about hair. First of all, there is a massive difference between going to like a unisex hair salon or like a women's hairdresser's and getting like a masculine women's haircut than going to the barbers and getting an actual men's haircut. There is a massive difference. The pictures of me from before I started going to the barbers, where like I would go to the hairdressers and just get a masculine haircut, it just made me look like a lesbian. Like a stereotypical, like, butch lesbian kind of thing. And when you're a trans guy, or when you're trans-masculine, generally that's not what you want. You generally, like, this video is kind of for people who want to pass as male, specifically. Because, like, when you want to pass as male, you don't want to be mistaken for a butch lesbian. Because that's the kind of thing that... that's kind of trap, in a way, that a lot of trans guys and trans-masculine people fall into when they're first, like, starting to present as male. That they end up just presenting masculinely rather than as male in some kind of weird way. And they end up just being read as, like, masculine women and butch lesbians and stuff like that. And obviously, there's no problem with being a masculine woman or a butch lesbian. But when it comes to being a trans guy, that's not what you want to look like. You know, you want to look like a guy. So there is a big difference between getting a haircut in a barber's and a haircut in a unisex salon or in like a women's hairdresser's. There is a big difference. Biggest difference being between men and women's typical haircuts would be this stuff. I get a shave on the sides. It's really short, as you can see. It's really short. And then I get it normally cut on the top. This is pretty typical as a man's haircut. This is pretty typical. And when it comes to men's haircut, if you like aren't really sure what to do, look at the guys your age around you. So like for me, I'm surrounded by 16-year-old boys in school. And a lot of them would have a haircut quite like mine. They get it shaved back and sides and they let it long on the top. And it just gets cut with the scissors on the top. That's a typical haircut for boys my age where I'm living. So this is what I get. Also because I like it. It's also really low maintenance to get a shave and then just leave it long on top, because you just don't really have to worry about it that much. Whereas like if you have longer hair, there's like brushing. I don't have to brush my hair. Can you imagine that? Not having to brush your hair. It's great. I just run my hand through it and it's done. That's it. A particular thing that seems to be in fashion with the boys of today, with the youths and such, a lot of guys that I know would get a fade. So, like, when you get a shave has different levels. I think it goes up from a 1 or a 0 to, like, a 5 or a 6. So, like, the shaver will have a different length. I get a 2. This is a 2 because I want to last a fair while before it needs to get cut again. But at the same time, I don't want to be bald, so I get this 2. So you can still see that I have hair, but there isn't very much of it. So the 2 works for me. However, a fade would be if you go from one number and you work up to another. So you could get a fade from here to here, like get a 1 to 5. You could actually do that. You can get a fade. I'm not a fade person. It's not my style. I'm just like a shave and a cut, and that's it. Undercuts are also really common. Like an undercut would have to be tighter cut than my hair. Like you would have to be like able to see mostly scalp. You'd have to be able to see scalp for it to be an undercut. So it'd need to be a 1 or like an actual full-on shave for it to be an undercut. Undercuts are particularly popular with like undercuts seem to be a bit of an LGBT thing at the moment. So maybe if you're in an area where like LGBT people wouldn't be widely accepted, you might want to steer clear of an undercut, because undercuts seem to be a bit of a trend in the LGBT community at the moment. So if you're trying to distance yourself from the LGBT community, then don't get an undercut. Just get a shave, like don't go tighter than a 2. Because if you get a 1 or a 0, it's going to look like it's an undercut, whether you like it to or not, or whether it was meant to be an undercut or not. It's just going to look like one. So you may try and avoid that. Literally, it would actually take multiple sets of hands for me to count all the LGBT people I know with undercuts, and it would only take me only these 2 tiny baby hands to count all the cis guys that I know who have undercuts. So it is a big difference. But in terms of hair, when you are a trans guy, another thing to look out for is your hairline. Don't worry about your hairline, okay? Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's one of those things that gives you away, that if you have like a non-masculine hairline, it's like a masculine hairline is more back up here. It's more square. Mine is kind of squared out a little bit since I started on T, but like only very, very slightly. And it isn't the kind of thing that will actually stop you from passing, like your fucking hairline. People don't notice that kind of thing. It's just a hairline. But if you are ultra concerned about your hairline, go to a barber's, and I have to take my glasses off for this, so don't laugh at my glasses lines. My glasses are very tied to my face, as you can see. But see, the barber, she makes sure my sideburns are square. And she also shaves a bit here, which makes my hairline look squarer, which is really good. I've never had to ask her to do it, she just does it. But if you want to try and give off a more masculine vibe, you can definitely do that. When you go into a barber's, it's a lot easier to ask for what you want than when you go into unisex hair salons. I don't know why. Because, especially if you're me, like, because I just go in and go, okay, I want a 2 on the back and sides, and I want a trim on the top. That's it. The discussion is over. She might, like, go, is this length what you want? And then there's no more discussion. There's nothing really to worry about in that regard. When it comes to, like, putting stuff in your hair, I've never been a gel person. I've only worn gel outside of... When I was in the School Musical, I had to wear gel. But outside of the School Musical, I've worn gel, like, once. And never again. Because it just doesn't work with my hair. But, like, some guys, gel works. Do what suits you. But, like, do be aware of what people around you style their hair like. Because if your hair looks typical of people of your gender and age, you're going to fit in more with that look, you know? You're more likely to pass when you have the hair of a 16-year-old boy if you're a 16-year-old boy, you know? So for me, having the hair of a 16-year-old boy makes me pass better. And I like my hair this way. And hair is cool. Look at that sweet, fresh cut. But yeah, so that's hair. That's what I have to say about hair, at least. And just to reiterate, don't worry about going into a barber's. Barbers, generally, they don't give a shit. You just walk in. It doesn't matter if you don't fucking pass. More than likely, barbers don't turn people away. Because business is business, you know? Barbers don't really mind. If you're really that worried, go with someone. Like, I'm pretty sure the first time I went down to the barber's, like, I went down alone. Because I get more worried about stuff when my parents are with me. Because I don't want them to see me getting embarrassed. But if you are really worried about it, bring a friend with you who will be able to say something if something goes wrong. Because I've heard of people who got into the barbers as trans masculine people, and then like the barbers have been like, so brave for a woman like yourself coming to get her hair cut in the barbers, and like he's there like, no, but at least like you didn't get kicked out of the barbers, so like no worries there. But anyway, this is what I have to say about hair. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please leave a like down here. And like and subscribe and check out my channel down this direction. In the comments, you should tell me what you think of hair. Like, how do you get your hair cut? Have you ever gotten your hair cut in the barbers? Because barbers are pretty cool. I like how they like tie a tissue around your neck so that they can do the back in a straight line. I think that's kind of cool. And yeah, just hit me up. Talk to me about hair. Thank you and goodbye.